What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. By the end of today's video, I will have taught you how exactly to build your own online coaching business from scratch. Motivational chat. Alright, so the first thing that I always recommend for any new trainer when it comes to building your business is do your time in a gym. Being a face-to-face personal trainer, you learn so much that jumping straight to online coaching will never teach you. So you need to do your time as a face-to-face PT. For those who don't know, I was a face-to-face personal trainer for 4.5 years in a gym before I even took my business fully online. I've been online for 3.5 years now, nearly 4. And you learn so much from doing that face-to-face PT, seeing how the client works, seeing how that client trains. Like you can't explain how much you learn from being a face-to-face PT. I think it's kind of like if you wanted to be a makeup artist, you try and learn makeup off just a mannequin. Like it doesn't work. You really need to be hands-on with that client and see that for your own eyes. It's completely different things, and I really just do think that you need to do your time as a face-to-face PT before going online. So that would be my biggest recommendation. And I know a lot of people want to kind of jump the gun and to just try and rush to get to the end, but ultimately any successful personal trainer has done their hard days in the gym. And yes, it's hard being a face-to-face PT. Yes, you've got the split shifts, the early mornings, the late nights, I get it. But if you are in it for the long run, which you should be, and you have to be passionate about it, it's going to be so worth it. Even if you just do 6 months to a year, get experience with a wide variety of working with different clients, and from that, then you can do your transition online. It also helps you build up a client base as well. When it comes to being in the gym, you get to be seen in front of more eyes, hands-on. You're naturally going to have that trust factor when you are a face-to-face PT, because when people see you in the gym, they see you every single day, they see you working with other clients, you're building that trust. Whereas it's a lot harder for someone to build up that trust over someone that they haven't met. So you have that advantage. Yes, it might be hard in some aspects, for sure, being that hands-on, face-to-face, building up and having to pay your PC rent, but you also have that potential for a lot more leads and to be seen in front of a lot more eyes. If you pick the right gym, it can be great. And it doesn't have to be a big gym. Sometimes even just your small little niche gyms can be some of the best gyms to PT at, because chances are you have a lot less competition with other trainers there as well, that it's a lot easier for you to grow and establish and build that trust. So do your time as a face-to-face PT, don't rush it. I know we all want to be online yesterday, but you have to ultimately do your time. Okay. The next thing that I would say, and I've given this piece of advice to all my PT mentor clients, to any new trainer, it's the best piece of advice that I could possibly give you that I've always applied when it comes to my own business. And I think that's why I've had the success that I have. And even in my quiet times, as it always will be quiet over winter, over Christmas, no matter what, for any business, you're always going to have periods of time where it's a little bit quieter. But the best thing that I could say is never get complacent. And even when you feel like you're at capacity and you are so busy with work and clients, and you feel like you don't even have time for outreach anymore, then you should really be pushing that outreach. Do whatever you can, make it work. Don't get complacent. The thing about success is that it breeds complacency, and complacency breeds failure. The amount of PTs that I've seen that have been in the industry one day and then out the next because they had their 10 moments of fame and they earned really good money for a few months and they were doing really well, killing it with some clients, and then a few months later, where are they? Never to be seen, out of the industry. And that's why the failure rate for personal trainers, 99% of personal trainers fail within the first year. If you can apply the concept of even when you are so busy, to still be looking for clients as if you're broke, and that is the best mindset that you should have. Do whatever you can to remind yourself as if you are broke and your life depends on it. And you can't just owe it to yourself. Your reason needs to be deeper than that, because we can get comfortable with our life, right? Whereas if I say to someone that's important to me, that I'm going to promise you this and I need to have this, your why is going to be so much stronger. Maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your parents, but your why needs to be so strong, and it needs to be for someone else. Yes, we're doing these things for ourselves and that's great, but that's only going to last you so long, because those hard days you're gonna have a really hard time pushing through if it's just for you. For me, I've always said this, and I've always told my parents, even before I had my business, that I will retire them one day. But like, that is my why every single day. They're on my vision board. I tell them all the time, because having that level of accountability is another level of pressure than if you just tell yourself, oh yeah, I just want to buy myself some designer items. It doesn't take that much sacrifice to buy yourself some designer items, but to be at the point where you can retire people and give them money and a wage to live off every single year, that's more than comfortable. Just so you can get a context in terms of why being successful is so motivating for me in the first place. Like, my parents are my world, my rock, everything. They're so amazing, such great people through and through, and I see that, and I want, like, they've worked so hard to give me a good life and to raise me to be the person that I am. It feels only right to me to be the person that I can give them a good life in return as a thank you. I want them to experience so many of the things that I've had the opportunity to experience, and it is so unrelaxing to me to go out and do all of these travel trips, whatever, and like, they're not there with me. So when they're retired, they're gonna be coming with me to Dubai. I'm gonna take them. I said to my parents the other day, you know, if you could travel anywhere, where would you wanna go? My dad wants to, we're going to Italy apparently, so I'm going to have to take him to Italy. So for me, like, just having that motivating factor every single day that I can look at. For most people, it's their kids. I don't have any kids. Or some people, I know a few of my friends, they do it like for their future kids. I honestly, like, I don't have a clunky bone in my body right now. One day for sure, but right now while my parents are here, like, that every day, like, and that gives me like a good deadline. Like, I need to have them retired in a certain amount of time frame for me to be satisfied, and I'm not relaxing until then. So anyway, long story short, you have to have that driving factor that motivates you every single day, that gets you out of bed in the morning. And you know, if you're passionate about personal training and if you're passionate about making fitness your career, there's a lot of success available to you if you're ready to work hard for it. And like I said, when you're at capacity, when you feel like you're at capacity with your clients, keep searching for clients. If you're truly so busy and you feel like you can't handle that time to go and do outreach, hire someone. Because I can tell you right now, even a few months ago, still earning the money that I do now, I'm still doing flyer drop-offs any chance I get. Like, actually, it was even just like a few weeks ago, I was doing flyer drop-offs, and I'll leave my flyers at businesses. Those little things. Do I have to do that? No, but it all adds up. And if you have that mentality of like, oh no, it's fine, it's not going to make a difference, okay, well, go join the rest of the pack with everyone else then, and don't complain to me that you're living a boring life. Motivational chat. So the next thing that I would say when it comes to growing your online coaching business is to have the right software and systems in place. It's going to make your life so much easier. These things are an investment. They do cost a lot of money, and it's actually funny that we bring this up because I was actually chatting to one of my current just nutrition training clients, not a PT mentor client, but just nutrition training client, and she was asking me how much, you know, I pay for Trainerize and just all the other like little systems that I use, and she was like, you know, it's so expensive. However, what I was explaining to her though is that you can get smaller plans if you are only starting off with a few clients. So it doesn't have to be super expensive initially. Obviously, as you grow, it does end up being cheaper per client. I personally use a personal training software at the moment called Trainerize, which I used even when I was a client, when I was growing up with my very first PT, and I love it from a client perspective even when I was brand new. I feel like I've used the app and I know what it's like to be a beginner and use the app, which is why I'm a big fan of it. It's really popular. I know a lot of coaches use that nowadays. So for the time being, I've always used Trainerize and it's fantastic. There's other softwares as well that you can use as well. Kahuna is like a new up and coming one, which seems really great as well. One of my other PT mentor clients, he uses that. So have the right software and systems in place. You don't have to go and fork out a lot of money to have like the most fancy spreadsheets. I have all that, I've done all that, and I have them, but to be honest, my favorite thing that I still use is literally just Google Sheets to have that on my end and be able to track to be able to track my clients' data. And that for me is the easiest thing to read. I'm not trying to do any fancy calculations. It's literally just the data. I see it. I think a lot of PTs nowadays, they'll finish a cert 3 and 4 in fitness and they're trying to think, okay, I need to have the fanciest looking spreadsheet ever. Don't do that. You can literally just use Google Drive. It's free. But in saying that, is it worth investing in some areas? Absolutely. So pick and choose where you want to invest your money in. I think ultimately, if you apply the concepts that you should invest most of your money back into your business, you're going to get far further than if you're just trying to like pay yourself and go live this fancier life. Try and avoid lifestyle creep as much as you can. I know it can be really easy once you start earning more to go treat yourself, to go buy the new car. I feel like it's kind of like a running joke that like as soon as anyone like has a little bit of success in like real estate, for example, they'll go buy like a Mercedes. And same thing with any industry, right? Like, you know, and it's great to an extent for sure. You know, you do well, you earn more, you want to reward yourself, but lifestyle creep will eat you alive, and that's where you'll start to fail in business. Have your wits about you. Still invest that money back into your business as if you're broke, because using that money to invest back into your business will be what will differentiate yourself from other trainers, and that's what's going to make you a fantastic coach, because you have those extra ebooks, those extra resources that make the entire process far more seamless than someone who's just like not even putting their money back into like the PT software that they're using. So invest back into yourself and avoid lifestyle creep. The final point that I would say for new trainers is just honestly preparing yourself for those harder times that comes with business. I've had many days as a personal trainer and many weeks where I was hardly affording even personal training, the PT rent at the gym, because we know that's expensive. So for those who don't know, I know a lot of people actually aren't aware of this, but you actually have to pay rent at a gym if you want a PT there. So usually it starts from around $250 Australian. I've seen some gyms charge up to $500 a week. So you can see how easily, you know, it takes quite a few clients to have to just even be able to afford your PT rent. There's been times over Christmas period, and myself as a new PT as well, you're not making any money. You might only train a few clients that week, and then you have a few cancels, and you're thinking, oh, I'm doing all this work, all this outreach for nothing. I'm making all these connections. I'm genuinely trying to do good and make a difference. It feels like you're not even doing anything. It feels like you're going backwards. I've been there, and no matter what in business, like you're still gonna have those hard times. Like be prepared for those ups and downs, those ebbs and flows. That's gonna be inevitable in any business. Any business in the world is gonna go up and down, but you have to get really comfortable with your income dipping and it going back up. Try not to appreciate too much those high income weeks, because otherwise, whenever you do have that income dip, which is always going to be inevitable, you're going to be a little bit down about that inevitably if you put too much emphasis on that higher income week. So try not to just see it as it is. Don't have any feelings towards it. With those low income weeks, I get it. Like I still have times where I might get a little bit down if like income might be dipping, but then it goes back up the next week and it's fine. So you just can't put too much value on those numbers. Get comfortable seeing those dips, and the more money you make, the bigger range of that dip is going to be. That's just the reality. It's part of the game. So get used to the ebbs and flows, get used to the hard times, and just know that if the only way, it's so corny but it's so true, the only way that you will genuinely fail in your business is if you just give up. And if you just keep going and you just push through, like it's just going to be a matter of time that you're going to be successful. But anyway guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys found some tips helpful in this video. If you guys want to see more videos like this, definitely subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.